Hey guys, appreciate everybody being here, man. Great day inside of Neyland Stadium. A ton of back and forth early in the scrimmage. A ton of energy. Got a little bit of special teams work done at the beginning, then got into full scrimmage mode. We were able to get a 2-minute situation at the end. Great work for all of our players, for quarterbacks as well. But good day. Just a ton of energy. I thought, first half of scrimmage there was a ton of back and forth, and defensively I thought their energy and effort in the second half of the scrimmage was that bar was raised and showed some really good results. I thought, without watching the tape, just defensively as a whole, made some strides today. I thought our front four did a great job of playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, being disruptive, getting after the quarterback as well. So tons of positives on both sides, but wanted to mention that effort. With that, I'll open it up to some questions.
We'll start with Vince Farrar, then we'll go to David Oven.
Josh, wondering if you could analyze your defensive backs. You have a number of guys back there with 3+ years experience in the program who's had good camps, speed, versatility, things like that. That's one. And then two, give us your assessment of how you did throwing out the first pitch at baseball yesterday.
Well, it was an 0-2 count, and I want to make sure I didn't give him something good to hit, so I like my ball placement. There got him swinging, so overall pretty good on the pitch count or the pitch performance yesterday. A little disappointed with the one hopper. Okay, today's scrimmage from the defensive secondary position. It's a group that I think is gaining understanding of technique, gaining an understanding of communication. Being in the right spot. They're starting to play the ball better vertically down the field on some 50-50 balls potentially. A group that, as you mentioned, is probably our most mature group on the defensive side of the football as far as experience on the field, time played, being in those types of situations. I think the thing that I really like about that group is they're really positive. They push each other. And they're a highly competitive group. If you walk into our building on an off day or after meetings, that group as much as any is going to be in the indoor, probably catching balls off the jugs, working some technique with each other. It's a group that puts in a lot of extra effort and time. On the field, there's a bunch of guys that have had a really good camp. Burrell's doing a really good job on the edge. T-Mac is a young guy that's really coming on in the middle of the football field for us. But there's a lot of guys that have made a bunch of plays. One of the things we track is just turnovers early in training camp or early in spring ball. Thought they had some opportunities to make some plays on the ball that they didn't finish the play on. The last few days here, they've done a great job of turning those into to turnovers. And it's a physical group as well, highly competitive, like what they're doing on special teams as well. I think a big thing in that group is some versatility where guys can play multiple spots. We're moving guys into different positions, our nickel position, safety, rotating some guys at corner too. So I think that'll be beneficial for us as we go into the season.
Josh, I was wondering if you could assess what you've seen so far in spring from individually from Hendon and Harrison and Brian.
Yeah, I think, today I want to go back and watch the tape before I make a comment on the quarterbacks from today. But I think as an overall group, they've gotten better. Really started training or started spring ball. Just the fundamentals and technique and some of the things that we're doing, our meshes with the running backs, our drops, from quick game to drop back to understand to play action packs, to throwing on the run. Some of those things. They've continued to really gain an understanding and getting better fundamentally. I think operationally, they've come light years from when we first started as a group, understanding the communication process, the tempo that we want to play at. Within that tempo, being able to have control of the game. And I think as we finish this next week, they should be able to make another jump. I think they got a chance to take a huge stride in June and July before we get back in training camp. As you get away from it, sit back, watch the video of yourself actually doing it, you got a chance to make some huge strides. All of them have made some big-time plays down the field. They've taken care of the football for the most part throughout spring ball, but it's a group that has got to continue to grow and push here as we finish up this week in spring ball and as we compete at that position in June and July before we get back in training camp.
Patrick Brown, then Jimmy Hines.
Hey Josh, you mentioned the defensive line playing a little bit more on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Is that something you've seen more of recently, kind of like the defensive backs with forcing more turnovers, I should say? Or is that something they've been doing a lot this spring?
No, I think, some of the things that we're asking them to do might be a little bit different than what they had been accustomed to. Getting kids to buy in, see a guy or two guys making some strides that are really buying into the process and taking the coaching and implementing it into their game. I think that's really happened here over the last 3 practices, and they've gotten better each and every day. And I think as a collective group, they're starting to really understand what Coach Gardner and Coach Banks are asking them to do, playing with better technique. The communication up front has been better, where they're able to get themselves in an alignment early and be able to come off of the football. You watch those guys in combo drills or team run and some team situations. They've made huge strides here over the last 3 days, and obviously want to go back and watch the tape from today, but I thought it was noticeable that they were playing with a great effort and strain.
Josh, in regard to the speed or the tempo of the offense, are you where you want to be right now or close?
No, but we shouldn't be at this point either. We're going to continue to get more and more efficient in how we operate, how we function. I think a lot of our mechanics, for being this early in the process, I love where we're at and the guys understanding and being able to operate in it. You're constantly going to teach off of teachable moments, right? Practice is awesome. These scrimmages are critical because it is truly a game. But I thought today, really, there were very few things that were noticeable during the course of play before we go back and watch it that I had an issue with. And I think that speaks to those kids' buy-in and their ability to be coached and learn, not just being corrected themselves, but learning from a teammate as well.
I think recently you indicated you thought that you might get Caden Salter back before the end of spring. Do you still feel that way?
Those guys are currently suspended right now, and don't have any update for you guys on that.
Nick Hill, then Eric Kane.
Coach, I was just curious about the offensive line, just where their development is at this point in the spring, and how well they've adjusted to your new offensive scheme.
Adjusted really well. I think it's a group that has the ability, I said this maybe a week ago, for guys to play different positions. It's a group that has played really collectively as a group with the same effort and attitude every day on the practice field. There's training in the meeting room. We're not where we need to be by the time we get to next fall, but we shouldn't be. But it's a group that I think we have an opportunity to be a really good group, and for that to be a foundational piece of who we are offensively and be able to lean on those guys.
Hey Josh, the spring has gone on. Have you gained a better understanding of what you have at wide receiver? Obviously, you have some guys who have been banged up a little bit, but seeing those guys rep every day in practice, have you been impressed or have you been encouraged by the wide receiver room overall as spring has gone on?
I am encouraged absolutely by the group. I thought there's so many things for them to grab onto in what we're doing, besides just the play itself. That I thought the first 4 or 5 days we probably weren't where we could be or should be. I feel like the last 5-6 days we've had on the grass, those guys have taken a huge jump, not in the operation of what we're doing between plays, but just understanding alignment, assignment, understanding the coverages that they're seeing on the other side, playing with better technique, getting themselves in the right position, allowing the quarterback to get rid of the football on time. I like where that group is heading right here. We still got 4 more that are big opportunities for those guys to continue to grow. We've had some guys just in and out a little bit in that group, but the next guy stepped up, and we got to continue to really develop some depth at that position as we finish spring, as we get into the summer months as well.
Ben McKee, then Trey Wallace.
Yeah, Coach, a similar question to Eric's. I'm just curious as to kind of who are some of the skilled players who have stepped up and made plays in these scrimmages, and has there been a consistent theme of
the same skill position player stepping up and making plays?
I don't know that it's been the same guy. I think you see guys periodically throughout practice or through the scrimmage make some plays. I think at the running back position, Jabari Small's done a fantastic job. He understands how we want to play. He understands what we're doing. He's been good without the ball in his hands, not just with the ball in his hands at the running back position. I feel like he's in a really good spot and done some really good things. D. Beckwith has had some flashes at the running back position as well. He's starting to understand how to play that position, a unique guy in that he's played multiple positions in a short amount of time coming out of high school, having played some quarterback as well. He's growing into a guy that is understanding the running back position, learning how to play with pad leverage. His size is a positive, but he's also got to learn how to get pad under pad. He's starting to do that. The tight ends, that group has all made plays. Pope coming back off of injury, he's done some really good things. Obviously, he's the most mature guy in the room or has the most experience. Princeton Fance made plays, Warren's made plays. That's a group that's got great depth and a lot of consistency in it. They're able to play in the box and outside. And at the wide receiver position, I've talked about those guys before, but I like that group. As far as their understanding, competitive nature, Valus Jones, Tillman's made some plays. Jalen Hyatt has made some plays, getting back on the practice field here and done a really good job.
Hey, Josh, can you update the status on two parts? Can you update the status on Malachi Weidman right now, if you're allowed to? And then also, what have you seen from the guys that maybe have not participated due to injury early on in the spring, them trying to pick up the offense, maybe off the field in the meeting rooms? How's that been that process?
The guys that, maybe are coming off of off-season surgery have done a great job of just, soaking up, acting like a coach behind. I think, at the defensive side of the football, the guys that are nicked up a little bit coming off of postseason surgery have a really good job, or have done a really good job in the meeting room of trying to grab everything that they can. Obviously, you don't get a chance to see them out there when bodies are moving, but believe that they're putting themselves in a great position to have a great summer and ultimately get back to training camp and be ready to go.
Do you expect Weidman ready to go for summertime workouts?
Yeah. Do.
Thank you.
Vince Ferrar and David Ogden.
Josh, so this might be our last time talking to you, probably is, before the spring game. Just wondering, what are some things you're hoping to accomplish in the spring game in terms of even the administrative part with all the coaching staff working together and have it all operate as close to how you want it to ultimately?
Yeah, for sure. Just collectively as a staff, football staff, your support staff, all of those things. This is our greatest dress rehearsal before we get to next fall. And so, the first two scrimmages we've tried to treat like a game in everything that we're doing for our players to make sure that they're prepared and understand how we get ready to go play a football game. The communication system, we've tried to do the same thing. You're going to continue to get better, more efficient, and more in sync every opportunity that you get. Next Saturday, spring game will be a huge opportunity for our staff to grow and make sure that we're ready to operate efficiently and effectively when we get to next fall and are able to kick off, for real inside of that stadium. I like what our group has done up until this point, getting everybody on the same page. I think our players have a great understanding of how we're going to operate too. And just, speaking to next Saturday, man, what a great opportunity for guys inside of our locker room to go out and compete in front of their fans, go put on a show, but also show the improvement that they've made. Opportunity for them in a real life situation to go earn trust from their teammates, but from our coaching staff as well, and prove that they're ready to go compete at a championship level and find a way to force us to get them on the field. That's, a player's job. And excited that we get an opportunity to have the state of Tennessee and Vol Nation here inside of the stadium. Going to be a great day, and look forward to seeing everybody there.
Last question, David.
Josh, a couple of your offensive linemen were really complimentary of Elijah Simmons earlier this week. What have you seen out of him, and also what have you seen out of Walker Merrill this spring? I see you guys contribute early on.
Yeah, Walker's done a great job. Plays extremely hard, smart, competitive, understands where he needs to be. as much as anything, it matters a great deal to him, and that pushes him and drives him, whether that's on the meeting room, whether that's catching extra balls off the jugs machine, during his spare time, whether that's, catching extra routes. It's the way he approaches everything that he does. He has urgency. It matters to him. He wants to be great. He's going to be a special player here as his career continues to go on. I think your first question was about Elijah. Is that right? Man, yeah. Just since we've been here, inside of the weight room, consistent. It matters to him. He pushes himself every single day. He's strong. He's explosive. He's got unbelievable ability to play with great pad level and play with hat and hands. We get on the field, man. He's violent. He's disruptive. He jumps the football. He's got a chance continuing to change his body a little bit, get himself right where he needs to be. He's got a chance to be a special player and have a special season.
Thank you, Coach, for your time.
Guys, appreciate it. Have a great day.